Hello, good people. Welcome back to the Kuhb Games YouTube channel. My name is Evan, and we play goats here. We are taking a look at round 3 of the goatformat.com PWCQ number 56. We are 1-1. Just lost round 2 to Anthony Alvarado. No shame in that. Here we're playing against Hydrochronics 710. Not familiar with this player, but let's get into it. So, we win rock, paper, scissors. Always good to be on the play. We'll notice a little bit of a difference. The lights are on, and it's a different day. Crazy how time and light switches work. This hand that we're starting out with, I don't really like the BLS here. Obviously, we do have a light, so we just need to draw into like a breaker, a kaiku, Donzalug, something like that. And we can have that turned on, but this hand's kind of weird. It is one of these where like you can just play out the 1600 Blade Knight, not that big of a deal, because you can set the Sakuretsu to back it up, and you can also set the Trap Dust Shoot. You could also, in the blind, just not play the Blade Knight, kind of see what's going on, and that way maybe you don't have to use the Sakuretsu armor early, just to protect it, and maybe your opponent like sets some stuff because they don't know exactly what you're playing. And then they might just run something straight into the Blade Knight, whereas if you play the Blade Knight, they may not. That said, you do kind of want to get on the board. You have this premature burial in case they play something to kill it or whatever. I don't know. I think I actually like maybe not playing the Blade Knight. I probably do play the Blade Knight here, I guess, in while on the play. May as well just get aggressive. Also with this BLS here, getting a light into the graveyard isn't the worst thing in the world if it does go away. And, you know, the Sakuretsu armor is there to protect creatures. Or monsters. Sorry, wrong game. So I don't hate playing the Blade Knight here. Give a little pause, kind of see what's going on in the opponent's hands. We see a card Destruction, a Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, a Raigeki Break, a Gravekeeper Spy, a Thunder Dragon, and a Tribe Infecting Virus. This one is interesting. So we don't have an out to the Gravekeeper Spy. We do have an out to the Tribe Infecting Virus. If the opponent plays the Tribe after ditching this Thunder Dragon, and they want to pitch a Thunder Dragon to kill the Blade Knight, we can Premature Burial back the Blade Knight and attack. So we do have the option to just send the Spy back here and do that. The only problem is they have this Raigeki Break and the Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. So they can deal with this Premature Burial, they can deal with the Snatch Steal, they can deal with this BLS. So I think here I actually opt to take the Thunder Dragon to make the Raigeki Break and the Phoenix Wing Wind Blast at least -1s. And then just hope to draw into a way to deal with the Spy. Also, if the opponent wants to card Destruction, that's perfectly fine. And I think that's actually a reason to take the Thunder Dragons a little bit more. If you let your opponent fill up their hand with these blanks like Thunder Dragons, then they're just going to card Destruction those away as well. And they'll be able to just draw into more actually relevant cards. So I think what I do is I take the Thunder Dragon here. Do take the Thunder Dragon. I think that is the correct call there. We can draw into something to deal with Spy if that happens to be the choice from the opponent. I think they play the Tribe here. I might be wrong about that. But the Tribe's fine. Like, if they want to play Tribe and they want to discard any of those cards in their hand, that's perfectly fine with me. Sorry about that. Move my mouse up a little too much while full screened. I'm not too worried about this Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. If they want to put Blade Knight back on top of the deck, that's fine. If they want to put the Saku on top of the deck, I'll draw that again, whatever. They are going to have to -1 to do any of that, so depends on really what the game plan is. If they want to tempo me at the loss of card advantage, you know, so be it. That's how it goes, but opponent having a big think here about what they want to do. They do have options. Again, they could just play the Spy. I don't have an answer to it right now. Of course, they don't know that. And they do opt to set the Spy. They do set a back row. Could either be Raigeki Break or Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, obviously. Right here, we draw to Graceful Charity, which is huge. If I draw if I get to put a dark in the yard off of that, we have the BLS online, and then we actually have an answer to spy. That said, they could kill it with the tribe. Obviously, we do have the premature burial. Maybe we could bait out the Raigeki break with Snatch Steel or something like that, or with the Blade Knight. We'll see. It's not like a super solved situation here. We do have options on both sides, but yeah, I am just going to leave with the Graceful Charity. I know what I'm up against. I have perfect information on what's going on in the hand. Trap Dust Shoot here is huge. Tribe's actually really good too. So like, the way I'm looking at it is, it's very likely this is a spy. There's no way they set the tribe here. And so I know like this tribe can take care of the spy. I could actually just crash into it, play the tribe. And I don't want to play the tribe first, obviously, because this is either a Raigeki break or a Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, and either I don't really want to hit the tribe. I would rather the spy flip and the other spy hit the board before I play the tribe, so I can use the priority to kill it. And then I can use the Trap Dust Shoot to get rid of my opponent's tribe so that my Blade Knight is going to stick around. And then I can try to start whittling away there. Eventually we'll draw into this dark for BLS, but that's fine. We've got some good cards here. We are up on card advantage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we're up. So now we just need to figure out what we want to discard to the Graceful Charity. I think Premature Burial here is actually a pretty decent discard. Yeah. Of course, that's the first one to discard. This one's a little harder. Like, obviously, I want to keep this tribe around because I am banking on this being a spy here. So I discard the Torrential, and I think that makes a lot of sense because I'm going to be building up my board. And the Torrential is just not going to do a whole lot. And face up, my opponent doesn't really have anything that's threatening me here. Especially with this Trap Dust Shoot, I can get rid of either the tribe or something else that's a bigger threat. I may actually just ditch the Snatch Steel here as well for the tribe. I don't hate that either. Again, we know about the Wing Blast. We know about the Raigeki break. We don't know that the Raigeki break is on the field currently, but they are going to activate it. So we actually get to see what they discard first. They really should have waited for me to activate the tribe. Because now, like, they discard the Wing Blast. I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty cool. So now we can just ditch this Snatch Steel, get rid of those. We lose the tribe. It's fine, whatever. We're way up on card advantage. We have this Trap Dust Shoot, which isn't actually turned on now. So my opponent is free to play the tribe and try to kill the Blade Knight. However, they're way down on cards at this point. So I'm perfectly fine with that if they want to just kind of 1-for-1 here. Being up on card advantage means 1-for-1's go in my favor. So this is fine. They discard the card destruction. Obviously, they don't know the card in my hand is BLS, which they would likely want card destruction here. This is an interesting play here. I think this is correct. So I don't know what my opponent's last card is at this point, but my opponent attacks with a tribe. Obvious play is the Sakuretsu. I choose not to. I choose to take the 1600. I have a pretty healthy life total here already, so I've got some life to play with as a resource. I don't want to flip the Sakuretsu for 2 reasons. One, I can draw a monster off the top of the deck that can beat over the tribe, and I can get a natural +1 in combat there, and go up even more on cards, leaving my opponent with just 1 card. And this gives my opponent a read that maybe I don't have a battle trap down here. Maybe these are some bluffs, or maybe it's, some sort of other trap. Maybe I've got some Solemn Judgments down here or something. So my opponent might play into the Sakuretsu later. I actually like that. Kind of throws the opponent off and just sort of gets in their head a little bit, like, hey, this isn't what you think it is. Drawing DD Warrior Lady here is kind of meh. I think I actually... Yeah, just pass the turn. I'll take another 16 off of this tribe, I think. It's not really super consequential. I have a lot of life to deal with. And I'll just give it one more draw step to try to draw something to beat over the tribe. Nope, I'm actually going to Sakuretsu this time. Oh, they're going to Book of Moon the tribe. That is very... That's a very poor play, I think. So I think what they were thinking when they did that is trade the book for the tribe, or trade the book for the Sakuretsu armor. I think that's a very obvious play. However, maybe they didn't have me on having a monster in hand because I didn't do anything last turn. But there are all kinds of monsters. Like, I could have had a level 2 in hand. I could have had the DD Warrior Lady. I could have had a Don's Luke, something like that. So I think you just let the tribe go. So, like, not only, like, you 1-for-1 yourself losing the Book of Moon to the Sakuretsu, so that's not a minus, but you put your tribe in defense position where it just gets run over by, like, literally everything from warriors. And I don't know if I really like that as a play. Of course, I don't know their last card in hand, but I think we can easily, suss out it's either, like, a bluff, and they're just not setting the bluff or whatever, or it's Chaos Monster. So, but looking at their graveyard, they don't have a light, so, and we have a DD Warrior Lady, so maybe we can keep a good check on that. Waiting for this Trap Dust Shoot to actually be online would be nice if we could get to use it. Opponent plays Breaker, it's not great. If they break the Mirror Force, they break the Mirror Force. They do. So, that's actually not good for us, because they get to get a little bit of card advantage back. We are still up on the card advantage. They lose their Breaker, so it's not the end of the world. But obviously, we would like to not have gotten plussed on there. Here comes Jar of Greed, which could end up drawing something. Obviously, that's what the card does. Oddly enough, that opponent's just gonna pass back immediately. I think I activate the Jar of Greed here. Generally, I like to sit. Yeah, generally I like to sit on Jar of Greed, and see if I can get a plus off of it. But here in this situation, the opponent's doing nothing. We have a read that they probably have like a Chaos Monster or something in hand. I really want to start applying some pressure, and especially if I can draw into a dark like Kaiku that I draw off of the Jar of Greed, which is just the absolute perfect card. We can really start pressuring the opponent here, because now we have the BLS live as soon as the Kaiku dies, and we just get to get in some really good pressure. The Kaiku can take care of the graveyard, can stop all the chaos plays, and we're actually just like set up to like super win the game here. So I like the Jar of Greed flip there. I think there are times where you do just like sit on it, but if you don't have anything going on, and you're up on card advantage, you really want to just start. You really just want to start pressuring the opponent, and drawing an extra card could find you something. Like, I would have taken just about anything there as far as pressure. I do set the Sakuretsu. At this point, I'm like, my opponent has Heavy Storm. It's really not that bad for me, because like, if they're going to just throw off Heavy Storm and do nothing, I have this Kaiku that's going to win the game. And if they play a Heavy Storm to go into a bigger play to take this Kaiku off the board, I have a BLS follow-up. So, draw level 2 here, which actually isn't bad. One of the ways my opponent can get back in this is with flip effect monsters. So we're going to eat the rest of the graveyard. We have this level 2 backup to take care of any set monsters my opponent wants to play. We have this BLS online as soon as the Kaiku dies. We have a Trap Dust Shoot that's probably not ever going to get flipped this game. But feeling pretty good about the situation here. Opponent draws a card, and they play a Blade Knight. This threw me off a little bit. This whole time I thought I was just playing against like regular Chaos Turbo. Not the case. Apparently they're playing Blade Knight. They do set a card, and they attack into my Kaiku. So the Kaiku's gone, but, obviously that turns on BLS. They did set a back row, but I think at this point I have a good read that that's probably just a bluff or something a little inconsequential. Ring of Destruction here is pretty awesome. It could be like a Mirror Force, but also, let's see. My opponent doesn't have any monsters in the grave. I think I summoned the BLS, and yeah, so I summoned the BLS, and I think I'm just going to banish this Blade Knight. Just keep taking my pluses. My opponent's almost dead with like ring on any of their monsters or any of my monsters plus a BLS attack. So I don't think I need to attack over it here. It's not even lethal. It's just 4,000 total. So it would leave my opponent with 400 life points, which obviously, you know, is really low. But why put a light in my opponent's graveyard when I don't have to? I can just banish. I'm going to win this game on card advantage here alone. My opponent flips up the mind control. I thought about ringing the BLS, but I don't think that's great. They can just, you know, they can activate the BLS, banish itself. It's not really that big of a deal. I'm still way up on cards. I just need to find something to pressure right now, but this level 2 is going to come in handy and draw Call of the Haunted, which is very nice. I think I have a Blade Knight in the yard, right? No, I just have a Tribe. I mean, Tribe's still good. Tribe is pressure, but this level 2 killing this Magician of Faith here is very good. Opponent could have gotten a card destruction to get this useless Chaos Sorcerer out of their hand. Or like a Book of Moon to flip this down if they got another flip effect monster. I go ahead and set the call. Like at this point, you know, if they have Heavy Storm, they have Heavy Storm. I just want to get the call down so I can get as much pressure going as possible. Sorry, I have my guinea pigs next to me making some noises. Looking over. If you haven't seen the stream already, there will be a guinea pig cam on the stream, so you can see what's up with them. My opponent passes the turn, and here I have a decision to make. I can call the Haunted back the Tribe and attack in. That's going to be 2,500 to put him at 1,900. So then on the next turn, I would have lethal with the ring on the Tribe. My opponent didn't play anything. I do get Dust Shoot Off on my opponent's turn. So I think I actually like that play. So if we do the math, if I just attack for 900, they go to 3,500. On the next turn, I would attack for 2,500, they go to 1,000. It's the same clock. Okay, so I actually don't want to call a Haunted the Tribe here and just put it on the board for no reason because the clock remains the same. So I think we just attack for 900 here and pass the turn. We're already in on die to Heavy Storm line, so we probably just play the Dust Tornado as well. And opponent's still not playing anything. We know they have 2 Thunder Dragons in their hand, so we've got 2 bricks over there. Yeah, just attack for the 900. No reason to put the Tribe on the board here. Like that play. Let's see if we set the Dust Tornado. I think it makes sense to just set the Dust Tornado here. Yeah. If we're already not respecting Heavy Storm, may as well just play it. If the opponent sets a backer or whatever, we can take care of it. Nice. I got a Snatch Steal. So yeah, I Dust Shoot them. I see the hand. I know I've won the game. Because even if they Snatch Steal this, I can just Dust Tornado it and go to my turn, get the Tribe back, attack for 25, ring the Tribe, and the game's over. Fast forward a little bit. Take the Sork. Believe, yep, they play the Snatch. I Dust Tornado it, knowing that I have game. And go to my turn. I draw Exiled Forest. I decide to not show it because, you know, why give up any more information? Like, the opponent knows I'm playing Exiled Forest, let's be real. Unless they're living under a rock and go format or whatever. But might as well not show it. Maybe I forgot to register it. Who knows? You know, okay, so I brought in the Spy. After seeing the Blade Knight, I was like, okay, this could be this could be a Chaos Return deck. This could be some sort of more aggressive style of Chaos deck. So I brought in the Spies, and sort of, I didn't side quite like I normally do for Chaos Turbo. In fact, I think I may have taken out one of the Noblemans or something like that again. Can't remember exactly how I sided, but I did leave in the Spies, and we're going to try to play a little more defensively against their more aggressive threats. So let's get into this. This hand's not bad. Spy's pretty good. Breaker, obviously expecting your opponent to bring in like more Sakuretsus and stuff, so Breaker's very good. Nobleman is a good proactive piece, but we are missing some defense. I would like to see some sort of, defensive trap or something like that to go along with this hand, but That's all right. Opponent sets a back row, and I think they just pass. Yeah. So, like, I've got a great turn with Breaker. I draw Heavy Storm, which is not what I was looking for, obviously. I could just set the Spy here, but I don't think really that's going to do anything. I think, you know, with this hand, especially not having any reactive cards, you just want to be as aggressive as possible. I know the opponent already has 2 bricks in hand with the Thunder Dragons until they draw a Graceful Charity, so I think I just want to get my plus with the Breaker here and get in as much damage as possible. This is always scary right here. Opponent Raigeki breaks my Breaker. They -1, but they put a Dark Magician of Chaos in the graveyard, and that's not what you want to see, because that usually means they're going to have something like Premature Burial. I set the knock here, which I think is actually a terrible play. After I did it, I looked down. I remember this. I played the knock, and I'm like, I go to pass the turn, and I'm like, why did you do that? Because you know, as soon as you see the Dark Magician of Chaos, you're like, oh no, there could be a Premature Burial, a Call of the Haunted, or something. You want to leave up your Heavy Storm so that you can just deal with the Dark Magician of Chaos, because you don't really have too many outs to it in the deck. Like, you do have this Rhoda for like an Exiled Force or something, but you don't really want to use the Rhoda for that if you don't have to, and Heavy Storm says you don't have to. So I do think playing the knock here was a very bad idea, but I'm kind of scared at this point, because now I'm really thinking return in the deck for sure, and this Dark Magician of Chaos could get going. However, setting the knock works out really well. Get an MST on it, so kind of opponent down a card here. They do still have 2 Thunder Dragons in hand, so they're basically dealing with 3 real cards here, and even if they get back the Dark Magician of Chaos here, it's not really that bad for me. Like, they can get back an MST, who cares? So this is an interesting turn here. I'm going to pause it. I have a Solemn Judgment. I can wait. However, knowing that Demok is in the graveyard, and that is a threat on its own if they can get it back, I'm going to be aggressive here. And knowing that they only have 2 real cards in hand, I can Heavy Storm. If they plus off it, they plus off of it, you know. That's fine. I just want to be aggressive here, and I want to make sure my play goes through. I want to summon the Kaiku. I want to take out the Demok and the Thunder Dragon. I want to stop Chaos plays. I want to stop them from being able to get that Demok back. And I want a Heavy Storm here. It's like, if that is a return, then they can't really use it here. And if they set a return later, I have the Solemn Judgment for that. So if I just Heavy Storm, clear the board, clear my opponent's graveyard, get rid of the Demok as a threat, and be able to defend my board with Solemn Judgment, have a real good clock with Gravekeeper Spy and Kaiku, and also Rhoda for something like an Exiled Force, DD Warrior Lady, whatever I may need. At any point, I think this is a very clear path forward to win the game. So I sit here and think about it. I do think all of that through, I do believe. And I do land on the play of Heavy Storm into Kaiku. And I'm going to fast forward because that's really going to take over the game. Spoiler alert, Kaiku wins the game by itself. Yeah, we're gonna eat those cards. We draw a Snatch Steal, which is just ridiculous. I go get a Blade Knight here. To pressure. I'm gonna think about this for a second. So 3,800. Yeah. So Blade Knight is 44. 24 plus 18. I guess Gravekeeper's Spy would have been the same clock, but it makes me set a monster. I have Solemn Judgment and Snatch Steal as well. Maybe I'm not supposed to Rhoda for the Blade Knight there. Because it is the same clock, right? If I just attack with the Kaiku, they go to 44. And then on the next turn, I have 24, 42. No, okay, so it's not the same clock. So getting the Blade Knight here does speed up the game by a turn. Well, I guess I could have... Yeah, I guess I could just flip this by a Rhoda then. But I think one thing that I'm thinking of here is maybe my opponent draws into Torrential Tribute. So yeah, I can just get the Blade Knight in for free and make it a 2-turn clock, and I don't have to worry about anything. I have Mirror Force. Well, Mirror Force is gone, so I don't even have to worry about that at all. I have Solemn Judgment to literally just stop anything. If my opponent draws a big monster, I can Snatch Steal it. I can take care of Return. I can take care of whatever. And then I do still have the Gravekeeper Spy in reserve. Because this takes the opponent down to, let's see, 3,800. Yeah, so Spy plus... Well, yeah, I guess that's not lethal. But yeah, okay, so I do agree with the Blade Knight play here. Yeah, opponents... No, it would be lethal. Spy plus either of these. Because opponent goes down to 24. Math is hard, guys. Yeah, my opponent says Kaiku's sick. They show me their hand, and it's like... They did have the Premature Burial, but I guess they decided to not bring out the Demok because they couldn't really get very much value off of it. And they knew that, there's a possibility they could just die, but they had like Premature Burial, Jinzo, Mobius, or something like that. It was really weird, but yeah, like my opponent couldn't do anything. The Kaiku completely took him off the game. So that was a beating. I believe this is Return. Maybe not. I have the Night Assailant. We do have like Donzalug or whatever. It's just a Chaos deck with... It's got to be a Return, right? With the Dark Magician of Chaos, or they could just have, like, Dimension Fusion or something in there. I think it's Return. But, yeah, that was round 3. Kind of an absolute beating there. But, yeah, I will see you guys for round 4.